Yo, no sooner than I could feel myself like going into that first phase of sleep, I feel on my head and the top part of my back. I threw the blanket over it. I was like, what the shit? I was like, why am I feeling like things are jumping on top of my head? Hey real ones, welcome back to my channel. So today I have for you a vlog, and as you can tell by the title of the vlog, I was in a haunted hotel. Okay, I told my mother, she did not believe me. I told my daughter, she was laughing at me, and my sister was just like, protect yourself. But I haven't told anyone else until now. So here goes. I was in England recently for a business trip. So I was there for 3 days and 2 nights. I arrived on a Wednesday morning into Birmingham Airport, and I took a taxi from Birmingham Airport to Stratford upon Avon. This particular hotel I would not have ever noticed or seen or even had wanted to book on my own, let's just say. The reason why I ended up booking this hotel is because I was giving a presentation to a department within my company that I work with, and everybody else who was traveling in from outside of England was coming and staying at this hotel. I don't know why the hotel was chosen, since everybody was staying there and they had arranged like shuttle buses to take us around from the hotel to the office and other meeting areas. I just decided it made the most sense for me to stay where everybody else was going to stay and be able to take the shuttle bus, etc., etc. I arrived at this hotel on Wednesday morning. As soon as I see the taxi pulling up, I'm looking like, he's like, okay, here we are. And I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, here, who are? Because I don't see no hotel. And I look at the hotel properly. I was like, nah, fam. I was like, this ain't it. Because, you know, sometimes you can have a hotel that looks like an older hotel, but when you step inside, it is modernized, but still keeping a lot of that historical look and feel to it. This wasn't that. I stayed in a hotel similar to that one time. My sister and I went to Boston, but it was modernized. It wasn't like creepy and older. The hotel in England was creepy and older. I stood up in front of that building and I was like, nah, fam. I was like, why? Everything in me was like, not like impending danger, but just like, hey girl, I don't know if this is it. But not enough for me to be like, I need to go stay at another hotel. So let me just paint a little bit of a picture for you. I cut my hair in late December, early January, probably like just around the new year. The date of this recording is mid-August. By now, my hair would have grown to like here, all of it. You see, like by here. So I would have like a itty bitty bob. You know what I mean? Like that hasn't happened. So I was getting a little restless. And I wanted to do something different, and it's not long enough for me to do tape-ins or even the micro extensions that I hadn't before. So I was thinking I wanted to get braids, but I was like, I don't want like box braids, because again, like my hair is not long enough. Like if you look on the back, not long enough for that, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to do box braids. So I was like, oh, like I wanted to do human hair, and I was like, what's conducive to that? And I looked up and I saw micro braids. I didn't want them super, super small, but I did want them small enough that it would look like, you know, I had like curls. If y'all ever been to the Africans to get your hair braided, I don't even have to explain the rest of what's gonna come. If you have never been to an African hair braiding salon, it is an experience for a Black woman like no other. You come out looking amazingly well. And yes, they do men, they do white women, they do Latinas, they do Afro-Latinas. I've even seen some Asian girls up in the African spot. But I'm specifically talking about my sisters right now. Now, we all joke and we say like when Africans braid your hair, they try to get everything from like your eyebrows back. And it's no lie. My hair was no exception. My hair looks amazing, but the day you get it braided, you know your head is going to be on fire. So you prepare for that. Like my daughter and my sister, they take Tylenol. And usually for me, I can get through the first day, no problem. I generally don't do synthetic hair because I think I either am allergic or have a sensitivity to the synthetic hair. I prefer human hair. I even started doing knotless braids because I realized when they do the knot also helps to bring the hair closer to your scalp. And then I get the irritation. Like if you see me scratching, it's because my head is still irritated from those braids. I went and I got my hair braided on a Sunday. The Monday, I was like, okay, that first night sleeping with the braids was tough. Like I didn't sleep properly because the hair was tight and I could barely move my head. So even to rest it down on the pillow was pain. The Monday night now, it was a little bit better, and it was still like they braided my hair tight because my hair is short. I get it. They wanted to make sure that the braids would stay in. And I personally don't like my hair being braided that tightly because I'm afraid of getting alopecia, my hair pulling out from those extensions. Like honestly, that was the Monday night. The Tuesday night now is when I'm flying out. So we take off and my head start itch me. So out Tuesday night. So I did not sleep. Okay, the last time I slept was Monday night. I didn't sleep Tuesday night. I arrive in England Wednesday morning. My head till a burn me. My head till I itch me. And when I say burning, like it's tight, so it's pulling. So feeling that all over, the constant pulling, and then it's braided tightly on top of that. It was hurting. It felt like I had 1,000 fire ants biting my scalp at once. So I say all of that to say I didn't sleep Tuesday night. So now Wednesday morning I arrive at the hotel and I look up and I'm like, the fuck. Now mind you, I'm already like zonked. So I look like I got makeup running, eyeliner and probably mascara running under my eyes. I had like rings. I didn't even care how I looked. That's to tell you like how out of it I was. Like I just needed sleep. So my head up in me, my sleepy, and I reached this hotel that looked spookier than I even imagined it could have looked in my mind's eye. It's the Mercure Stratford upon Avon Shakespeare Hotel, and it's located on Chapel Street in Stratford upon Avon. Standing in front of that place, I had the friggin' creeps. Okay? Mind you, what I didn't know until Thursday morning was as I was standing in front of the hotel and looking up, I could see my room, but I didn't know that that was my room yet. And as I stepped into the hotel now, that creepy feeling that I was already feeling turned a little deeper and creepier. I did not go exploring. They offered a free breakfast in the morning. I ain't never eat that breakfast because I didn't want to go into any more rooms in that hotel than I needed to. Okay? Like, for serious. I know y'all think I'm really exaggerating right now, but I promise you I'm not. Then I am at the desk and I'm talking to the woman. And I was like, hi, I'm checking in. She's like, oh, okay, you know, welcome, blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, check-in is not until 3 o'clock. And I was like, I literally think I might have made a face because she was like, oh, I know, I could tell you're so tired. She's like, your room is not quite ready yet. There's another room, but there's no AC. Now, most of you are thinking England AC. On a normal trip, I'd have been like, I don't care. However, for the last month, England has been having heat wave. Heat wave in a country that's not used to having heat waves, so then the Hana aircon is not fun. And it was going to be in the 80s and 90s for the next few days that I was going to be there. So who for top way with no AC? And yes, I realize that that sounds like first world problems. However, I live in the first world, so yes, it is a problem. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll wait. She takes my bag, she puts it in the concierge space to hold it. I go down the road to Superdrug. So because I know I have time to kill, I'm there busy myself, round every single aisle in the Superdrug. And this was a small Superdrug, so options were limited. I got leave-in conditioner because I was like, well, I'm gonna style the curls on this hair. It's gonna look so good after I do my ACV rinse. I'm gonna get this other leave-in, and I got mousse because you know mousse on the wet and wavy braids tends to look really nice and it holds the curl and you don't have to do it every day. So I got some supplies. I also got some Dettol because I was like, if worse comes to worse, Dettol is an antiseptic. I was like, Maybe I'll put that on my scalp since I can't find the apple cider vinegar. There was no stores where I could get any apple cider vinegar either. I live in the first world, so yes, it is a problem. So I go back to the hotel. It's still not time, so I'm gonna call up my sister and we stay on the phone and we chat. Me and she probably chat for about 45 minutes, okay? And I'm in the hotel lobby and I was like, you know, it's old, but it's not like dirty and dusty and creepy and disgusting. So I go back to the front desk. She gives me the key to the room. I ask her my suitcase. Now, considering that this is an older hotel, there are no elevators. So you literally have to carry your bags up the stairs. And there's no like bellhop. You got to carry that shit yourself. So, yeah. My room is 203. So she's like telling me like, oh, just go to the staircase and go up the stairs. Make a sharp right and you'll see your room. That's not where my room was. No, it was not. Your girl smart. I keep walking and I see another set of stairs and I walk up those stairs and I see room 203. Now, at this point, because I was so tired and I was so put off by the hotel, I did not take pictures or video. Otherwise, I could show you. 203 is like here, and I guess this was 201, I don't know, or 202. So it's like catty corner, whatever, catty corner like this. 203, this is my room, 202, literally. So I go and I open the door, and I'm having a hard time opening the door. Finally get the door open, and I open it, and I'm like, oh, very clean, very bright. But the room was mad small. So I go and I take a shower. So now I'm laying on the bed. My hair is wet. I washed it with the medicated shampoo that I found. It's still, the itching subsided for maybe like 5 minutes after I got out the shower. And I had a towel. I laid the towel on the pillows and I just lay back and I was like, okay, now I can sleep. And as soon as I started to like lull myself into a nice, peaceful stance to await the sleep that is coming, the sleep that I have been waiting on for hours, the friggin' head start itch me again. Oh my God. So I go back to the bathroom now. I did the wash with the medicated shampoo again, the head till up on me now. So I grabbed the bottle of Dettol, poured a bottle of Dettol over my head. I used like 2/3 of the bottle. And I made sure to pour it just on my scalp. Reach my scalp probably for about a millisecond. Because, y'all, when I said the Dettol start burn up my head. And that's when I knew that even though I could not see any like sores or lacerations in my scalp, it was pulling on that. Because the Dettol was burning. I was like, ah. And I'm under the water at this point. All I know is I just kept shaking my head, and every shake I see a couple of braids fall out. And I was like, now mind you, at this point, I'm like, oh my God, the braids are coming out. Because I'm thinking my hair is coming out with it and I'm going to be some baldina. Luckily, my hair was not coming out with it, but the braids were just literally just sliding out. I run my fingers through it, the hair come out. But I'm realizing the places where the hair has come out of are no longer itching. Long story short, braids come out. So here I am with my hair looking crazy. All the braids came out. There were about 20 that I had to force to take out because they didn't just slide out. And once I got all the braids out, I went and I rinsed again and I laid down. And I think I sleep for about a half hour. And something just told me to wake up, like out of my sleep. And I think I woke up not because I was like, oh, I feel rested, but I think I woke up because there was noise in the hallway. So I woke up, I went looking for a chippy, and then I found the Kingfisher, which was literally around the corner from the hotel. So I'm gonna go to the chippy, come back. I ate what I could, and I was like watching a little bit of TV on my laptop or my phone, one or the other, and I was doing some work. And I think I dozed off for a little while again. That's when I woke up at 10 o'clock and I was like wide awake. I didn't go back to sleep. The light was on, my laptop was on. I was working through the night, checking email, everything. And about 5 a.m., I think I just laid back with the cover over me. The light was still on and I was doing meditations. It's still like a little noisy in the hallway. And I was like, why them people in England have a haunted and then this hotel see? How them just there walk up and down so all night? Like I could just hear people walking. I was like, whoever's staying in the room next door is like, they're doing the most. Like, then to sleep. I got up probably around 7, started getting ready for work, put my stuff together, left the room. That is now Thursday. We come back, it's like 3:30. So now I am knackered. Like, I'm tired. I didn't sleep Tuesday night. Wednesday night, I was up all night. And so now it is Thursday night. So I'm there and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I could feel the sleep coming. So I go, I lay down and I take a nap. Got myself together and walked over to the restaurant. After dinner, I go to the room. I watch a little show, get ready for bed, check some emails. And then I was like, all right, I'm tired. So I'm laying down in the bed and I'm hearing all of this noise outside the door. Like constant walk up and down, up and down. And remember I told you my room is like in a little corner. So there's nothing here except for my room and the room next door. Why am I hearing all this traffic? Because to get here, you have to walk down like a tiny step. And then there's like the hallway and then the proper stairs that I came up. There's no other reason to be there, but this is where I'm hearing all of the foot traffic. And I was like, who the fuck is pacing around outside the room? So I get up and I walk over to the door and I'm like, I'm hearing all this pacing. I look out, I get up to go look in the peephole and I didn't see anybody out there. But even peeping out and looking, I could still hear the walking up and down right in front of the door. So I was like, all right. I was like, let me carry my ass back in the bed. So I get back in the bed. I turn off the lights and I pulled the duvet cover over my head because I don't know why in my mind I was like, that's going to shut out the noise. But I was like, at least if I could do that, it's just me and my thoughts under there and I can be comfortable and start to doze back off. So I start to lull back into a little bit of a sleep. Yo, no sooner than I could feel myself like going into that first phase of sleep, I feel on my head and the top part of my back. Now I'm using my hands, but if any of you has a dog at home and you ever laying down on the bed or like your couch or whatever and you cover up your head and they like pounce all over you to get to your face because they're like, oh my God, you're covered or whatever it is that they're thinking. That's what I was feeling in my bed. Now, yes, I do have a dog at home in New York. I am not at home in England and I'm feeling a pet pounce on top of me to try to get under the blanket. I was like, literally, I threw the blanket over and I was like, what the shit? I was like, what is going on? I was like, why am I feeling like things are jumping on top of my head? Now, mind you, I'm not scared. I am annoyed because I am sleepy. I can't sleep. I'm being prevented from sleeping. So I'm gonna cover up my head again. We'll roll over the other side now. And mind you, to go to sleep, I usually listen to some type of meditation, music, guided meditation, or like I said the night before, even though I was working, I was listening to the Icaros. I did not want to listen to anything that night. I don't know why I didn't want to listen to anything that night, but I'm glad I didn't. I didn't want to listen to anything that night. I feel like something pouncing on my head again. And I was like, what the hell? So now I'm under the cover like this and I'm peeping out because I'm like, whatever it is, I'm going to catch you and I'm going to see you. Now, I don't see it, but what I do see on the covers are movements like this, right? So like, you know, like when someone is walking across the bed, like you can see the person walking across the bed and where they're walking, you see the bed depressing, the sheet, the blanket, everything moving under the person's weight. I saw that on my bed, okay? Next to me, I was covered, but I see the bed being depressed as if someone is walking on top of the bed and nobody else in the room but me. And again, I'm under the covers, okay? Okay. Laptop is to my left, down by like my knee. And I'm on the right side of the bed, which is the closest to the door, because whenever I'm in a hotel, which is odd, yo, this whole thing was odd from the word go. Whenever I go to a hotel, whether it's a single bed or there's two beds, I always pick the bed that is closest in, or I will always want to sleep on the side of the bed that's closest in. I never want to sleep on the side of bed that's close to the door. And this like threw me for a loop because here I am on the side of the bed that's close to the door. When I say never, whether I'm with my sister, my mother, one man, my pickney, my friend, I never sleep in the bed or on the side of the bed that's closest to the door. Never. But I did this day. So the reason why I mentioned a laptop is because at this point I was like, shit, I'm still wearing my contact lens. And this is another reason I know I saw what I saw, because I hadn't taken off my contact lens first. So I take out my contact lens right and left, and I place them on top of my laptop. My laptop is black. For some reason, I'm hot. So I turn on the AC and I get back in the bed. Who tell me to turn on AC? Cause ghost like cool. Yo, it really didn't dawn on me until like just now. Like they like the coldness. So then I was like, shit started popping off at that point. I get back in the bed. I take out my contact lens and I put the contact lens on top of the computer. Left and right. Two of them were there. And I remember looking at it and laughing at myself, being like, why are you arranging them like this? At some point, I took off the pajamas again and then turned off the AC, but apparently that didn't stop the fuck shit from happening. Anyway, so I'm back in the bed and contacts are off. And now I'm laying down like this, just like staring up at the ceiling, like being like, oh my God, am I ever gonna get to fall asleep now? Because I've been interrupted. I've had to get up. And I'm like, I just don't understand why I can't sleep. So I'm laying there and I start to doze off. And I was like, oh, and I'm conscious enough that in my mind, I'm saying, thank goodness, I'm finally getting some rest. I must have been asleep. It felt like a couple of hours, but in reality, I don't think it was that long. And I just remember waking up like, like that. You know, you ever been sleeping and you weren't supposed to fall asleep? Like maybe you were at work, or maybe like you're in class or wherever and you're not supposed to fall asleep, and somebody comes and they're like, hey, like startles you awake. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't somebody in the room. It didn't feel like it was someone in the room. It felt like one of my spirit guides or something, because it was an internal feeling. It almost felt as if like in my sleep I was dreaming, and in my dream someone was like, girl, wake up, like, girl, wake up. It was almost like that. There was no sound. It was just a feeling of, girl, you got to wake up. And I just woke up like, oh. And as I'm waking up, I hear outside, all right, everyone, we need to evacuate. Everyone get together, follow behind each other, just go down the stairs. We're going to meet on the corner and we will assess, or like whatever they were saying, but they were like giving evacuation orders. And I'm thinking to myself, Papa fucking Jesus. Of course, when my black rass will decide to go and get naked again, then come with the evacuation talk. So I get up, I turn on the lights, and I go look through the peephole. Not a single solitary person is out there, but I'm still hearing someone give these evacuation orders outside of the hotel room. So now I look again and I'm like, close this fucking peephole. And then I look, the chain's still on the door, and I just get back in the bed and I just lay there stiff as a board like this and start to lull myself back to sleep. Now, as I'm lulling myself back, literally I'm like, not humming anything in particular, just humming a hum like my great grandmother used to do. And I was like, this ain't it. I was like, I just got to make it to the morning. That's all I kept thinking to myself. I just have to make it to the morning. Because in the morning I was leaving that hotel and I was going to the airport and coming back to New York. That's all I kept thinking. I just have to make it onto the morning. I just have to make it onto the morning. And then I could hear like someone pacing back and forth in front of my room. You know, I'm gonna get up, I open the door and look for somebody. So I'm laying in the bed and I'm like, and I start to like fall back into a sleep. But I realized this time, as I'm trying to fall asleep, I can't fall asleep properly. And then it feels like someone jumps onto the bed, onto my legs. So like from the knees down, it feels like somebody is on my legs. And I remember being like, oh, hell no. Like, what the hell? And I throw the covers down and I sit up and I'm like, stop it. Stop it. I need to sleep. Stop it. I was like, I'm not playing. Damn it. I need to sleep. And then I roll over on top of my stomach and I'm like, all right, now I can go to sleep. So I pull the covers up to like here, right? And I'm under the covers and I'm laying on my stomach, literally like almost starfish. And it feels like someone stage dives on top of me and someone's entire body weight is on top of me. I am immobilized. I cannot move. All I can do is say, get off of me. So I'm like this, trying to like throw them off of me. They're not moving. I'm like, get off of me. I was like, I've had enough. All I need to do is get some sleep. I was like, I don't have time for this tonight. I don't know what games you people are playing. I was like, but I'm not playing it. Stop it. I need to go to sleep. And I was like, all right. I was like, me not sleep? No fucking body. I get no rest inside here tonight. So I turn on my phone and I start playing all kinds of videos from my watch later list. I don't know what the hell was playing. I wasn't really watching it. I turned on the light and I was like, we all gonna be in her. And I turn off the AC. That's a woman get naked. Turn off the AC and I take off my clothes because I was like, it's going down. I was like, oh, y'all want to play games? I could be Petty LaBelle and Petty Wop with the rest of them. So I'm laying there on my back under the covers, naked as the day I'm born, just looking up. And I don't know if I had one of those. You ever have one of those things where your eyes are open and you're not really asleep, but for some reason you're like a little unconscious, but then like somewhat conscious? I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if that's what happened. And I say that because of this. The whole time I was awake, I feel something on my collarbone. And I'm like, and I'm laying down. I'm like, what the hell is this? And when I go like this and I pick it up, it's my contact lens. And sure enough, I sit up and I look at the laptop that's still on the bed. There's only one contact lens there. I was like, it's time to fucking go. It's time to, I was like, it's time to go. It's time to go. But it's still dark outside, so I'm like, I'm not getting up. I was like, I'm not getting up until the sun come up. I was like, there's no way, because I need there to be light in all corners and facets and nooks and crannies of this room. There is no way in hell I'm doing any of this in the dark. I'm not scared of the dark. I'm not scared of ghosts. None of that. It's just that I was like, this apparition has not been violent up until now, but I fear that if I let my guard down, something could come and try to do something. And you never know, like, you could have like a nice spirit and a malevolent one could be right behind it. So I was like, I'm not engaging. Then again, I hear evacuation orders being given. Mr. Weird, how much time per night this ghost just lived through the same something, so? I was like, sir, you need to get your whole life together and find something else to do. Like, ain't nobody evacuating with you. And I'm saying this out loud. And that's when I hear the pacing in front of my door stop. I was like, all right. So now I'm listening to soca music. I mean, sing along to the soca music. Why? Till dark outside now? Then about 6 something, the sun start come up. And that's when me jump up. Repack suitcase, put clothes to the side. Go to start wash skin and everything. Mind you, I don't need to leave this hotel until 9 o'clock. But I am up and at 'em, and I am not a morning person. When I tell y'all, Ray Al is not a morning person, you best believe you understand Ray Al don't do mornings. I am the worst in the morning. I was up, chipper. I was like, it's what we not gonna do. Nope, 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 nope. No, thank you. No, thank you. So I collect myself. After I get ready, I go downstairs. Make sure nothing of mine is left in the room. I go downstairs to the front desk, and I was like, hey, good morning. And there's a guy standing at the front desk. Now, I hadn't seen him before because the night before there was an Asian man. And remember I said there was a woman who checked me in. So now there's some regular white dude. And I was like, hi. And I was like, I'm checking out. And he was like, okay. And it was like, I had in my mind I was going to ask the question. Then I was like, nah, I'm going to sound ridiculous. I'm not asking the question. And someone in my spirit team urged me to ask the question. So then I go, excuse me, did something happen at this hotel like a long time ago? And he looks at me and he goes, happen? And at that point, the door behind the front desk opens and the manager comes out. Because you know, at these hotels, there's usually like the back room. So someone comes out, this other guy, he's standing there next to, so the guy is sitting here and he's standing over here next to the guy. And they both look at each other. And I was like, or like, did something happen in room 203? And they were like, why? What happened? And I explain everything that happens. And they look at each other. And the guy goes, the one who was sitting down, he goes, well, room 203 is supposedly haunted. He's like, but I've worked here for 7 years and I've never seen, heard, or experienced anything. I'm thinking to myself, sir, you work the day shift. Of course you ain't seen, heard, or experienced nothing. You ain't been here at night for nothing to happen to you. So then he gets up and he disappears for a minute. And I'm talking to the manager and I'm telling him, I was like, you know, like, I wasn't really scared. I was like, but it was just like so weird, you know? I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I just hadn't slept, and here I was trying to get some sleep, and they were not trying to let me sleep, whoever they were. The original person who I was talking to comes back, and he puts this sheet of paper on top of the hotel desk. And I pick it up, and I read the top line, which is in big bold letters, and it says, for many years, there have been rumors of at least one ghost at the I can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. It goes on to say, there have been several sightings of a bearded man wearing a long brown cloak roaming the corridor outside room 203. Let me tell you, somebody there pierce up and down in front of my room. People said that they saw him quite clearly, but then he would vanish into thin air. There have been many guests and staff who have reported mysterious goings on in room 203, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. A workman carrying out routine work left the room for 2 minutes, leaving his tools untidily in various parts of the room. Despite there being no one else around, when he returned, the tools had been lined up together on the dressing table very tidily. An American guest who had come to Stratford by train left her return ticket by her bed while she slept. When she awoke, she found her ticket had been ripped into tiny pieces. Then said, she now go back home. Okay? Another lady was dreaming that she was being held down, and although she struggled, she couldn't get away. When she woke, her right arm and side, her right arm and her right side, were bruised. She was very distressed and left immediately. I'm going to tell you, I said 2 times I feel something jump on top of me, and I could not move. And when I was laying on my stomach, that's when the thing, it felt like its entire body weight was on me and wouldn't let me go. I don't have no bruises, but I was like, and I wasn't sleeping. I was wide the fuck awake. Several other guests have checked out early, saying that they sensed an unpleasant presence in the room. Now, mind you, when the lights were on, I was not feeling or hearing anything in the room, but I could feel like someone was in the room watching me. A few years ago, a clairvoyant stayed the night in the room in an effort to discover what the presence was. Now, before I read the next part, when I said to the man, it felt like a pet was like jumping on top of me. And then I said it felt like someone jumped on top of my legs. And he said to me, oh, that sounds like Lucinda. Because I said it was like a man jumped on top of me and his whole body weight was holding me down. And he was like, a man or a child? I was like, I don't know. I just felt someone's body weight and I could not move. In my mind, I'm like, it have to be a man because one pick me could have fling bout. But I forget, said Duppy has super strength sometimes, right? So he was like, well, you know, Lucinda, a little girl, is usually in that room with her cat. Which would explain why I feel like there's something in there on top of my head and my back. I was like, no. I was like, okay.
Oh, don't cry. Are you?
She quite clearly saw a young girl cowering in the corner of the room, looking very afraid. Her name was Lucinda. She had long blonde hair and was holding a cat. She was very unhappy as her father mistreated her and died very young. The clairvoyant felt that Lucinda craved help and friendship and didn't want people to leave her or the room. Hence the ripping up of the ticket, hence the jumping on top of people, okay? So if you go into this room, be careful. How you give me this when I'm checking out and not when I'm checking in? And why that dirty woman did put me inside a room 203 if she knows say it haunted? All I know, right? I was like, see, I knew. I'm telling you, from the time the taxi pulled up and I set eyes on the facade of that building, I was like, this ain't it. I was like, something off about this place. Like, literally, I just kept thinking something is off about this place. Little did I know how friggin' off it really was. That's my story of the time that I was in England and stayed in a haunted hotel and was assigned the haunted hotel room. Yeah, because, you know, my luck is so impeccable. Why not? So much. Have any of you ever stayed in a haunted hotel, a haunted house, a haunted room? Have you been haunted? What was that like? What did you do? Were you afraid? Did you like try to commune with the ghost or ghosts? Like, I'm curious to know. So drop it in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for allowing me into your lives. And thank you for sharing a piece of mine. Until next time, Auf Wiedersehen. Hotel.